It penetrates deeper than any other oil, and wherever it penetrates, it breaks up lumps, bumps, adhesions, bone spurs, tumours. Hello everyone, Barbara O'Neill here, and today we're exploring some remarkable yet often overlooked natural remedies that have stood the test of time. I'm excited to share with you the myriad benefits of two powerful ingredients, castor oil and onion. Both are staples in traditional medicine, known for their unique healing properties. Let's delve into how these simple items can be transformative for your health. As a thank you for joining me today, we're giving away 100 free copies of my best-selling book to our subscribers. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, like this video, and comment why you want to win. Now let's get started. Castor oil can be used almost indefinitely. You could almost wear it 24/7. Castor oil penetrates very, very deep, and it can break up scar tissue. It can also break up calcifications, and sometimes with arthritis you've got calcified joints. Now, so we'll say calcifications because this is some of the cause for the pain in the joints. So the scar tissue obviously is going to break up a little bit easier than the calcified joints, but eventually it will do it. The key is consistency. Just keep at it. Just keep applying it every day, every day. Some people like to sleep with the castor oil compress overnight. Now, the thicker the compress, I like to do about 6 layers of cloth or maybe 3 layers of toweling, and I stitch it together and we put plastic underneath it. See, when you apply it, let's say you're applying it to the knee, you apply it and then you put the plastic over and then you'll bandage it on. The plastic just keeps the compress from chilling as it does with the ginger, and it also protects your clothes from being soiled from the castor oil, or if it's the ginger juice. The castor oil can be used, the castor oil compress can be used again and again and again and again. You might even use it for a month. By then it might be looking a little bit sad, and you might make a fresh one. I'll leave the decision up to you, because the castor oil is not drawing anything out of you. It's just a vehicle to hold the oil so that it can go into you. So this is a gentler poultice, but it's actually quite powerful. It can break up a bone spur, and so any calcification anywhere in the body, it has the ability to break that up. Remember, it penetrates deeper than any other oil, and wherever it penetrates, it has the ability to break up the congestion, scar tissue, calcification in that area. The more serious the condition, of course, the longer it's going to take, and the longer it's been like that, the longer it can take. So the swollen joints, you might do the ginger poultice for a few hours, and then you might do the castor oil overnight every night. So play with them. Remember, you're the doctor. Listen to what your body says. If it brings relief, do it. If it doesn't bring relief, maybe you need to do it for a little bit longer. Maybe you need to adjust the times that you do it. But your body will speak to you, and it will tell you what it likes. And if you don't get the results straight away, just keep at it. Remember Galatians 6 verse 9, where the Bible says, "Let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we will reap if we faint not." And remember that God gave us these simple natural remedies, and God blesses those natural remedies. So always pray for your poultices and ask God to bless them, and then you'll have the help of the greatest teacher, the greatest physician, the greatest healer that this world has ever known. In fact, the Bible says in some towns, once he passed through, there was not a sick person in that town. Can God still heal? Of course he can still heal. But I believe that what he wants to do is he wants to teach people why they're sick and what they can do to recover from their sickness. And when they go through that experience, they are now qualified to be able to help others. Because
Castor oil has been a trusted remedy for centuries, recognized particularly for its potent anti-inflammatory properties. Applying castor oil to swollen joints or aching muscles can significantly alleviate pain and reduce swelling. This effectiveness arises because the oil penetrates deep into the tissues, promoting circulation and facilitating healing processes. Moreover, it's incredibly soothing for irritated skin, establishing it as a preferred treatment for conditions like eczema or psoriasis. The ricinoleic acid in castor oil acts as a powerful agent that helps inhibit the growth of bacteria, viruses, and fungi. This attribute provides a natural method to enhance your skin's health and resilience. Incorporating castor oil into your routine can bring about these benefits, supporting both skin health and joint relief effectively.
So now we're going to have a look at the raw onion. And it's quite possible that I might start crying, is that right? So when you cut up an onion, the onion juices, they loosen up the mucous membranes, and that's a clear indication that this raw onion is very good for colds. So if you've got a cold, cut up some onions and you'll breathe in the onion fumes. But what I'm first of all going to show you is what you can do for a sore throat. You can finely slice the onion, so get a few fine slices. So when the grandson or the teenager or the son puts his knee through the sheet, it's a good idea to fold them up into squares. This is a good sized square. So we're making an onion poultice for the throat now, sore throat, and you just lay those little onions down like so, and then you pull the cloth over top and bottom and then put that round the neck. And then you might cover that with a scarf, or you might cover it with a little bit of plastic and then a scarf, and you can leave that on overnight. Your bed partner might complain about your perfume, but it eases a sore throat. I've had mothers say, my child's got strep throat, strep throat. I think, strep throat? What's this strep throat? It's just a sore throat. But obviously they've had a test and it's streptococci. It doesn't matter what it is, this will help it. So my children had sore throats, they had colds, they had everything that children usually get, and I never gave them drugs. I just used to use these simple, natural treatments. And I see them with their children today. They're doing the same thing to their children that I did to them. Why are they doing that? Because it works. And now I'm going to show you what you can do for a cough. And when a child or an adult, whatever age, gets a cold, it's not uncommon that they might cough for a few weeks. In fact, I've had ladies email me and say, my child had a cold and it's 2 weeks later and they're still coughing. And I write back and say, that's right. They will. But you know what? It'll pass. It'll pass. When the cough stops, it means it's done its job. So we're going to put this on the bottom of the feet. And we get a cloth and we put the chopped onion on. Depending on the size of the foot, maybe this was for a little 2-year-old, and you put the foot, the skin of the foot, straight onto the onion. And then you'll wrap this around the foot, or what some people will do is put a sock on and just put it down the sock. But then put a plastic bag on that, and you leave it there all night. And I remember being with my daughter and her little boy James, he was 3 at the time. He had a cold and he was coughing. She gave him a hot bath and put him to bed. And he coughed and coughed. After half an hour, still coughing, because we just thought, he'll fall asleep in a minute. But we could see he wasn't going to fall asleep. So we got him up And we got a small onion, cut it in half, and put one on each foot, and put a sock over the plastic bag, I think, and put him back to bed. Not one more cough. Not one cough all night. You almost have to experience it to see how amazing it is. See, the biggest pores in the whole of your body are in the soles of your feet. And anything that touches the soles of the feet, the body will absorb. That's why I'm very fussy about my footwear and about my socks. Because you have nylon socks and your feet get hot, your body's going to absorb that nylon, the chemicals from the nylon. I'm also careful in the summertime what I put my feet on. I always have leather sandals. And this is also why barefoot walking is so good. You've probably heard about earthing, going barefoot on the grass. I'm probably a bit fussy about where I go barefoot on what grass. I'm not going to do that if there are dogs and putting their droppings there. There's a bit of common sense there. Now I'm going to make an onion cough syrup. So there's lots of things you can do with onion. So I've chopped up an onion, and I'm going to put approximately a teaspoon of honey on top of there, and then another layer of onion, and then another teaspoon of honey, and another layer of onion. I'm starting to cry. If you don't cry when you cut up the onion, that's a worry. It must be an irradiated onion. And you keep doing this until you've filled your jar. This is just the right amount. And then you let that sit for 24 hours. After 24 hours, you will have a syrup. So this time tomorrow night, we can have a look at this, and you'll see that there's a syrup formed. So at the moment, we've just got this thick, gooey, sticky honey. Now on top, I should do about 2 teaspoons. At the moment, we've got layered in the jar, thick, sticky honey. And if I move it, I don't see any fluid there. I've just got thick, sticky honey and chopped onion. By the end of our lecture tonight, when I tip that up, you'll see a clear, fairly runny fluid. That's the syrup starting to form. And by tomorrow night, that's 24 hours, you'll see a fluid that comes up to about here. It'll be like an amber, very runny fluid, and that's your onion syrup. And you can strain your onion out, and you can keep that cough syrup in your fridge. Well, I don't know how long you can keep it in the fridge because it never lasted long in my house.
Onions are not just for cooking, they hold incredible medicinal value, especially for respiratory issues. Inhaling the fumes of a freshly cut onion can significantly relieve symptoms of colds and sinus congestions. This benefit arises from the sulfur compounds present in onions, which have strong anti-inflammatory and antibacterial effects that aid in reducing respiratory discomfort. Additionally, making a poultice of onions and applying it directly to the chest can help break down mucus and ease breathing, making it a simple yet effective home remedy for coughs and colds. Moreover, consuming onions regularly can greatly boost your immune system thanks to their potent antioxidants. These compounds help protect against free radicals, which can damage cells and lead to various health issues. Regular onion consumption not only supports overall respiratory health, but also strengthens the body's defenses, keeping you healthier and more resilient against infections. This by boosting blood circulation to the scalp, invigorating the roots, and reducing dandruff. Together, these oils create a potent remedy for healthier, stronger hair. I recommend warming a small amount of the mixture and massaging it gently into your scalp, allowing it to penetrate deeply. Leave it on for an hour or overnight for best results, then wash it out thoroughly. This not only revitalizes your hair, but also leaves a refreshing aroma that uplifts your mood. With consistent use, you'll see noticeable improvements in hair thickness, shine, and overall health, making this a natural solution for common scalp and hair issues.
But many people don't promptly answer nature's immediate call, and their colon gets into the habit of not going when it should. And there's something else you can wear on your colon for a few hours a day, and it's a castor oil compress. Castor oil is an oil that penetrates deeper than any other oil, and it'll break up the congestion in the colon and help you to pass with ease. So if someone tends to constipation, it's very important that they invest in a $2 plastic stool from the Crazy Clarks. Do you have Crazy Clarks? $2 shop, or I don't know, something like that. Okay, those shops. Or they go to Bed Bath and Beyond and invest in a squatty potty. So take the pressure off there and start drinking more water. Start wearing the castor oil compress on there. And if you weren't in the lecture that showed how to make compresses, you can Google Barbara O'Neill poultices, and in the poultice lecture it shows you. But it's a few layers of cloth with castor oil on it, put on the abdomen, cover it with plastic. Usually your clothes will hold it there. In fact, one lady who came to our program, she said, I used to have irritable bowel. And when I had irritable bowel, my husband, who's a doctor, came in and told me what he was going to do is going to be cortisone and anti-inflammatories, and if that didn't slow it down, we'll just open you up and cut that part out. Oh. It actually defies reason, doesn't it? Do you know, I'm not criticising doctors. They do the best they can. You know, poor doctors, people beat themselves up, and then they come to the doctor and think there's going to be a quick fix, but there actually isn't. There isn't a quick fix. The body can heal itself. It's little by little by little it breaks down. It bears so long under abuse. And so it's little by little by little, given the right conditions, that it can start to build up and heal again. So this lady decided not to do what her doctor husband suggested, and she'd heard about the castor oil, so she started wearing castor oil compresses on her abdomen. And she said, I healed myself of irritable bowel with castor oil. So castor oil will penetrate deep, and it'll help to ease any inflammation. It will also penetrate deep and break up any lumps and bumps in the area if the person has constipation. You see, herbs are synergistic. They work with the needs of the human body. That's the good news. So let's come down here, and oh dear, there are those horrible little things called hemorrhoids. What can you do to get relief there? Squatty potty, so you take pressure off them. But there are a few things you can do. You can soak a cotton ball in castor oil and shape it to the shape of your little finger and put it in the freezer. Now it will take about 4 days to freeze. And once it's frozen and it's, you know, solid, you can insert it and leave it in there overnight. And the castor oil brings great relief to that hemorrhoid.
Castor oil is also heralded for its remarkable ability to enhance hair growth. Massaging the scalp with castor oil stimulates the hair follicles, promoting thicker, healthier hair growth due to its rich omega-6 fatty acids content. These essential fatty acids nourish the hair from the roots, ensuring that each strand grows stronger and healthier. It not only nourishes your hair but also moisturizes your scalp, significantly reducing dandruff and preventing dryness. Regular use of castor oil can lead to noticeable improvements in the texture and appearance of your hair, including added shine and increased volume. This natural oil is also excellent for preventing hair breakage and enhancing hair elasticity, making your hair less prone to split ends and damage. So if you're looking for a natural way to boost your hair's appearance and overall health, castor oil might just be your best friend. Incorporate it into your routine to experience these benefits and revitalize your hair naturally. Easier breathing. The warmth helps activate circulation, while the eucalyptus provides a refreshing, cooling sensation that promotes lung health. This simple, safe, and effective remedy is an excellent way to support your respiratory system naturally, helping you feel more comfortable and breathe freely.
And castor oil is something that penetrates deep into the body. I never advise taking castor oil by mouth because it can be quite irritating. So I'm going to show you how to make a pack. So here is, I think we're familiar with them, they're blueies. Oh, this is a greenie, but it's an incontinence pad. So what we do is we get those and we cut them and we take off that top layer and we put several layers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 6 layers of that oil sheeting in there. You see, the thicker the compress, the more castor oil it can hold, and the more castor oil that can go into your body. And what we do then is we tape the edges. And the reason we go to a bit of effort to do this, you can also stitch the corners, because this is a compress, so it can be used again and again and again and again. And the beauty of it is it has a plastic backing on it, and you want that plastic to protect your clothing. A castor oil compress is something that I apply to my hand every night. So you might notice I've still got a little bit of swelling in my hand. It's been only 8 weeks since I broke this. The X-ray confirms that my bones are healed, but there's still a little bit of swelling there because it was quite a serious break. So I've brought you over my castor oil compress, and I've used one of those sheets that the 15-year-old's knee went through, and I've actually got about 10 layers there, and I put that on my hand like this, and I bandage it. I'm getting very good at this because I do it every night, because I quickly discovered my husband's not a nurse. He does it in a bit of a hurry and doesn't do it quite right. And so there's my castor oil compress that I will sleep with. I sleep with it every night. So why am I putting a castor oil compress on this? Because that was quite serious damage. My ulna was fractured, my radius was totally broken and out of place. Whenever you've got an injury, you've got the possibility of scar tissue building up. And so this is very good at stopping scar tissue developing. And many people have problems years later after an injury from scar tissue. So if someone maybe had appendix taken out 10 years ago, sometimes they get more problems now because of scar tissue building up from that. So castor oil will break up any unnatural substance. So it'll break up a bone spur. It'll break up kidney stones, it'll break up gallstones. It will even help to break cataracts up, so you can put a drop of castor oil on your finger and wipe it over your eye, then do it to the other eye. Could you put it in your eye? Absolutely. It's just easier to wipe it over your eye though, because it's so sticky. So if you know what castor oil does, you start to know where to apply it. When I was in I think it was Nebraska last year, a lady came to me and she was in her 70s. She said, my foot had this bunion on it, and the bunion came out about 1/2 inch. She said, I've been applying a castor oil compress to it every night for 2 months and it's gone. So that's good news. So any bony formations, bone spurs, very good at breaking up bone spurs. Obviously it's not going to do it overnight, and it's not going to do it sometimes in a month. Depends how long it's been there, depends how big it is, depends how serious it is. I've known ladies to break up fibroids by applying the castor oil compress. This would be a good size for the abdomen. So for endometriosis, it'll break up endometrial pockets, it'll break up cysts, it'll break up fibroids. And as you heard today, it's also important to balance the hormones. So balance the hormones, because it's that high estrogen that causes those growths, and then apply the castor oil compress. And we've seen ladies helped again and again with that. You can also use a castor oil compress on the chest if there's a congestion in the chest. You could wear it on the abdomen, not only for fibroids but also for constipation. I met a lady who told me she'd conquered her irritable bowel with castor oil compresses. She said, my husband's a doctor and I was not interested in what he had to offer. And I'd heard about the castor oil. So castor oil can be used in so many areas. If someone's got a sore knee, they might do a ginger poultice one night, they might do a potato poultice the other night, and then another night they might use the castor oil, and just observe what your body likes. I've had in my thumb a little bit of rheumatoid arthritis, because I have inherited the genes there. If I wear this castor oil compress every night, it never causes me any trouble. I've been wearing this compress. Well, I haven't been wearing for 8 weeks because my hand was in plaster for a while, but I've been wearing this one I've got on now for several weeks. So you can use it again and again. In the morning, I'll touch it and I'll look at my finger, and if I see oil there, I know it's still got enough oil. But if it starts to get a little bit dry, I'll put another maybe teaspoon of oil on it. Maybe after another month I might make another one. When it starts to look a bit sad, you might make another one, but you can use the same compress for several weeks.
Did you know onions could help in managing blood sugar levels? Yes, onions contain chromium, a mineral that assists in regulating blood glucose. For those managing diabetes or pre-diabetes, incorporating onions into your diet could help stabilize your blood sugar. Moreover, onions stimulate the production of insulin, which is essential for glucose management, making them a beneficial addition to diabetic care routines.
Castor oil penetrates deeper than any other oil. I do not advise you drink castor oil. It can be irritating inside, but on the outside, it has quite a remarkable effect. It penetrates deeper than any other oil, and wherever it penetrates, it breaks up lumps, bumps, adhesions, bone spurs, tumours. Depending on how long the bone spur's been there, if the bone spur's been there for 3 years, it might take 3 months. If the bone spur's been there 3 months, it might only take 3 weeks. I have seen people, well, they've told me their bone spur was little by little, it was able to go with the castor oil compresses. So when I say a compress, what do I mean by that? I'll show you how we make it. We get what's called an incontinence pad. You can buy these to put under people who are incontinent. And we cut them up. So you can see that I've already cut a piece off this. And the beauty of it is it's got a plastic backing, and I open it up. You can open it like that. And I put several layers of cloth in there to make it a thick compress. You see, the thicker the compress, the more castor oil it will hold, and the more castor oil can go into you. So I have made one here. So you can see this is quite thick. I think I have got about 8 layers of cloth in there. And what I do is I tape the edges with masking tape, and I've clipped the edges with a stapler, or you could stitch it. And when I applied the castor oil earlier, it was like a thick layer on top. And so you sit that down and you leave it for maybe 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, waiting for it to soak through. It has soaked through now, and that's quite wet. And you can see that it doesn't take up the whole of the poultice, because when that goes on the body, the heat of the body will thin the oil, and it'll leave a little bit of a room for it to spread out. So this is a good size for the chest, for a congested chest. It's a good size for the abdomen. It can be put on the abdomen for constipation. It can also be put on the abdominal wall for irritable bowel. It could be put under the rib for the liver, for gallstones. It can also be put at the back for kidney stones. It could be put over a knee for a painful knee. So you can see we're getting to the part in our presentation where for a sore knee, say, you might try the ginger poultice. Another time you might try the grated potato poultice. And another time you might try the castor oil. And you will get to see what the different poultices do. But remember, this penetrates deep. And because it's not drawing anything out of you, you can use the same compress again and again and again. You might even use the same one for a couple of months. Maybe every 2 days, it's starting to feel a bit dry, you'd put a little bit more castor oil there. You'll get to know, and you can just fold it over, put it aside, and bring it out the next night. I've spoken to women who've been able to break up breast lumps using the castor oil compress. I've also spoken to women who've been able to clear up their breast cancer with castor oil compresses on the breast. It's not the whole program. There's a whole lot of things that you do. In my book, Self-Healed by Designs, it talks about the conditions required for healing, for especially with cancer, and this can be just part of the program.
Returning to castor oil, it's a fantastic natural remedy for improving digestion. Its anti-spasmodic properties can soothe an upset stomach and relieve symptoms of constipation. A small dose of castor oil acts as a stimulant laxative, encouraging bowel movements and improving gut health. It's a gentle method to maintain digestive regularity and prevent the discomfort of bloating and constipation. Remember, moderation is key, as excessive use can lead to adverse effects. Thank you for joining me today as we explored the incredible health benefits of castor oil and onions. Remember, nature offers us a plethora of remedies that are not only effective, but also accessible and affordable. I encourage you to try these natural solutions and experience their healing properties firsthand. Until next time, stay healthy and keep nurturing your body with the goodness of nature.